record, and when I'm speaking, it is only me showing on the screen. And if you are speaking, if you have any questions at the end, then you will be on the screen. But other than that, it won't show. I don't know if you're seeing the same as me. I'm choosing the view, which is gallery, so I get to see everybody. But you know, you can choose speaker only, and then the recording should be just me speaking, unless any of you want to share anything at the end of it. Okay, so I am now recording. This is Dreaming Reality, and it is 18th of May being recorded, 2025. Yes, we are here with a wonderful group of people. So one really important thing that I was beginning to share is that the dreaming is, of course, whatever you feel it is, whatever it is to you, and also a perfect geometry frequency that is yours, that is unique to you. When I started seeing this in the 3 minutes, the focus 3 minutes, I started seeing myself, but it was my being, not necessarily my body. And I started perceiving a space that it was vibrant and alive. And I called it for years the plasma lake because I didn't have a word for it. And I could behold below me. I was hovering above as a being, and I would see below me this material, if you like, that looked a bit like water, but I knew it wasn't water. And what it was an expectant energy, frequency, but it was also malleable in that it wanted to create with me. I have trouble sharing that because it is obviously my vision and very personal as to how I got to this understanding. But one thing that I got deeper into understanding is that I was very aware that the moment I chose something, it would occur. I had the power in that space, in my meditation, in my focus state, that I could truly create with this material, which is also a frequency. It's not matter, but it's like it's something that creates matter. And not only that, it felt as if it was expecting me, this space of frequency that I could access in my focus time. I call it focus time rather than meditation. Was also very excited to see me, to be, it's like it was part of me, and it was excited to create something new. And the part of me that was aware that I was a human on planet Earth was very wary of thinking something into being, because the sense was I had to be so cautious in what I was going to create. And so over the years, I kept going back to try and understand what this is and how it is that life, plays out around us. And of course, I'm an astrologer, so I can look at patterns in the sky and things are moving forward, and when things are a little bit stuck or there is a tension, things need to move and shake before something new is created. But this place, which is truly a frequency of pure dreaming, and the reason why I came with the meaning of this as being the dreaming is because if you ever are in a relaxed state and you decide to just play and dream something into your being, whether it is an experience, something delicious that you want to eat, or meeting somebody new in your life, or traveling to a destination that you are drawn to. I promise you that if you are in the state, you will create it. And it's not the what you would say the manifestation formula, although it is in a sense manifesting, but what it is you informing the particles in the plasma field around you that you are ready to create form. So, information, as I started looking at it, and because I've done this for so many years, I understood that information was electrical and it was particles of electricity and also the electrical currents, which are my biology, my physical body, my nervous system, my ability to relax, and of course, breathing and eating well and making sure that all the minerals that are part of the ionization of the water in your physical body are offered, if you like, to this technology that we inhabit. And we can talk about all of those details or important details at some point. But I want to just make an open visual for you for when we go into the dreaming. So, with all that, I was very aware that when I wanted to get into now my true dreaming, so I could imagine I want to eat something delicious, and then, it would just somehow I would turn a corner or something would happen, and I would, sure enough, get to eat that one delicious thing. But that was wonderful because it's a reality, and why not? We're here to have fun in this physical body and to enjoy all life experiences. But for me, and I feel for all of you that know me, um, it is so much about the soul and what the soul has decided or has chosen to experience and to express through that experience on planet Earth at this particular time on planet Earth. Hence why, today felt really important to come and share a bit more about the astrology of it and about the state, which I'm calling the dreaming, which is a sacred geometry. It's literally a harmonic of your being. So it's unique to you. And let's say I am a harmonic with all of my memory bank and all of my expression and all of my wisdom and all of, I don't have words for that. I see this in geometry. And let's say that my geometry meets you and it creates something new because there is a point of convergent, which is a frequency pattern that is vibrating at a similar frequency. And so imagine that if we are in a frequency match, we are creating new realities because we're aligning our geometry together. So this is how I see and how I experience it, especially when I'm, taking groups on a journey, because then we are for many days together and we are sharing, through the field of consciousness. So the sacred geometry of your being is unique to you, which also means you don't need to dream my dream. I can dream my dream because I am here at infinitum creating fractals in the universe, which will serve the past that is my origins. And you create through the patterns and the fractals of your unique intelligence. But together we create more, we create fields and we create worlds. So I know that it's all very futuristic and not very scientific, but it's certainly information that I feel is solid in revelations with others in groups. So because not only I am in this focus points by myself, but I'm also with the groups, and some of you have joined me in those groups. So, yeah, so first of all, accessing your own truth. And how do you access the dreaming? Is by being so courageous that you allow yourself to see how to get past those points that are just before the dreaming. And so, usually, those points, and again, it's not about shadow work, it's not about I don't even have the words, whatever the new age was doing, it's not that. It's really being first and foremost in truth with your being and in communication with your being so that you can receive information. And as I'm saying it now, information is electricity informing particles. So the being that has had experiences on planet Earth, which looks like this right now and it's talking to you and it's called Anouk Sophia by choice, uh, it's connected to a much higher pattern of intelligence. And so if I create a communication network with my being and it's constant and it's alive, then I'm always reaching further into that dreaming, into the true geometry of my dreaming. So the dreaming is not beginning or ending. The dreaming is, if you like, is like a breath. It's this constant expansion and expectant friend. Is almost like a oh, I wish there were words to describe this, but it's certainly a place or a state and a material, because I don't have a word for it, so I'm calling it plasma. It is how you create matter, because you are in forming, which is creating form, right? Reality is particles condensed, creating a form. And so it's creating the reality that is informed. So this is information, electricity, plasma. Now creating form, informing the particles on the outside of you in the reality that you are creating to support you in the journey, and to ultimately, this is in service. It's in constant service because you have come to Earth with a purpose and a mission. Nothing was random. You weren't placed here by accident, and you haven't chosen this particular time on Earth. We are now on the Gregorian count, the 18th of May, 2025. Wherever the count that we wish to use in the future, this particular moment in time is a convergent point for all of us to be aware and awake that the dreaming is alive. And if we don't choose, this is the biggest part of all, or the key to it, is that if we don't choose the truth of our being, then because life is in evolution and we are kind of like in this flow, this fast river, it's just gonna create it for you. And then the patterns and the belief systems and the dogma, whatever you picked up throughout your life that wasn't yours, will continue to play out, just like a photocopy that just keeps photocopying itself until you pull the curtains open and you say, wait, this was a time when I wasn't fully conscious of my dreaming, and now I take responsibility for who I am and for the collaboration that I have in creating new world and creating new realities for myself and seeing reality. Whether it is creating or seeing, I think it doesn't really matter, because you are seeing what you create, and then you also create because you've seen it in the dreaming. So that's the chicken and the egg. So accessing the true dreaming takes practice and it takes courage, because it means you will hit those points that aren't real. You will hit those places within you. And again, they are constructs and belief systems that were maybe put in place for you or by you for safety for some reason, or because it wasn't time for you to be powerful in the world. But here we are. This is the time of your power. This is the time of your leadership. If you're attracted to my work, we are in resonance on some level that your purpose on planet Earth is important, and the path that you build or the dreaming that you're dreaming is important for the collective, not just for you. So although it is really important to know your being and to know your true dreaming and the true desires of your soul, and this will feel when you arrive at it, it will feel like like a primal scream within you, not out of pain, but out of deep fire desire, because now you understood, here I am, this is who I am, this is why I'm here. And there is also the sense, at least for me, because I'm an Aries, Virgo is very much, I was born for this. This is, this is like, there's nothing stopping me. For you, you might feel it differently, and that's okay. But whatever it is gonna feel like a deep yearning to be that, to walk that, to exude or emanate the frequency. So, although I'm calling it dreaming and I'm speaking about plasma and electrical currents and particles, it is not separate from the dreaming that you do in the night when you actually go to sleep and you are in a dreaming state, in that relaxed state that you go into, alpha or theta or whatever. I don't actually think that there are only four brain states. I'm sure there is a lot more, so I often don't quote those. But if that's what you are used to knowing, is that state where you are in the, well, sometimes they call it the REM. Can't remember, rapid eye movement, dreaming. Whatever it is that you can access in terms of relaxing the mind and allowing the subconscious mind, because the subconscious is also the supraconscious. And when you can access those states of consciousness, and there are many before me that have done this work. A really wonderful man called Robert Monroe was also very keen on tuning into what I believe it was the same. I'm calling it the dreaming. I don't remember what he was calling it, but it's just a space where not you don't, at the point that you don't need to go to sleep to be fully aware of that state and to be fully in that mode, which is, it is super consciousness. I am not in that mode all the time. I am still, playing through the constructs and all that occurred, and how do you open it up. But I am very aware that it is really important, and the more we practice into going into that state, or and I want that to be your own. I'm calling it the geometry of dreaming, because I see it as a geometry, and I see it as a potential for this geometry being this perfect equation, just like the universal movements. If you follow astronomy, everything is moving and expanding in spirals, or fractals if you look at nature and how it grows from within to without and creates those patterns that, yes, it's contained in the framework or the pattern of the seed, right? For example, a sunflower is one seed, and then by the time you see the head of the sunflower full of seeds, it created a pattern in the center, which is a spiral of seeds. So whichever way you see it, it's really important that you make it your own, and you can call it your own if you want to. And if you want to work with me on this, then I am delighted to work with you too. So I want to now, I'm sorry I'm talking to you for a minute, but I want to tell you about why this year is so important. And I've done some calls before where I spoke about Pluto moving into Aquarius. So I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk more on what is relevant here. And if you want any support, through astrology with your own personal sacred geometry, your patterns in the sky that are supporting you at this time and your evolutional cycle, then contact me. Okay, so one important thing to know is that this is truly a pivotal point. Today, Jupiter and the nodes, I'm going to share the screen because it helps me, and hopefully it will be something that makes sense. if astrology is not your language. So this is right now. So in fact, no, let me do it. Okay. So this is right now, 18:23 my local time, but it is the now time wherever you are in the world. So here we have Aries, and the one important thing that's happening right now, I mean, within a few hours, for me is going to be, I think, at 2 a.m., is Uranus and the Sun here conjuncting in Taurus at 27 degrees. Obviously, the minutes are going to get closer together and then be precise in alignment at 2 something a.m. my local time. For you, it will be. Anyway, today and yesterday and tomorrow, the energy is still here. The energy doesn't just come in a second and leave you. So what does this mean to have Uranus and the Sun conjuncting? Uranus is the great awakener, is the great transformer, is the lightning, is the plasma, and is higher consciousness and opening realities in your mind so that you can create the future with the electrical information that you're receiving and expanding it in the universe. The Sun, of course, is your light. For you in I'm not looking at your natal chart, but for a natal chart, this is your soul light. This is how you incarnate, the moment that you incarnate, and how it is set for you in the river of stars that is the geometry of your birth. Now, Uranus and the Sun come together every year because the Sun does its cycle around all of the 12 constellations in a tropical astrology chart. And we know that a year is 360, 60 what? 364 days, right? So 365 days. Thank you. So the Sun moves all around, and so every year it hits Uranus, but it has not hit Uranus in Taurus. And I can tell you when that was last. Uranus and the Sun in Taurus, the last time was 1941. And the next time we will meet again, it will not be, mostly not in our lifetimes, because it will be in 84 years from now. So this is Uranus and the Sun meeting in Taurus, which is an Earth, which is an Earth sign, and very much shaking the foundations from underneath us. And why is it doing that? Because Jupiter is assisting this evolutionary point, like a massive pivotal point. You see, Jupiter is 25 degrees and the nodes are 25 degrees. The nodes are up in opposition. Those are called the nodes of the moon, and they represent cycles that are interpersonal in this case, because I'm not looking at your personal astrology. And they are cycles where the entire societies of planet Earth are experiencing. So right now is in the axis of Pisces, Virgo, which I won't go into that, but suffice to say that a square, so this red here is a square from Jupiter, the great expansion, the one that wants to gift you more. This is the planet, one of the most benevolent planets in our sky, because it's bright, because it wants to expand the light within you. It wants to expand the light in your path, in your desires, in your dreams. And a square is a desire to complete something, to make something work, and to not fail at it. There is a sense of the time is now, and the destiny points, because the nodes of the moon are destiny points. This is a destined opportunity to expand light and to crack open the barrier. So a square is a 90-degree angle, which truly represents some kind of completion and some kind of transformation. There is no going through except entering a new reality. So when Uranus and the Sun are bringing this immense innovation and Jupiter and the nodes are saying it's time for a new destiny. We completed this cycle on planet Earth, and the time is truly there for you. Something new is coming. So the Uranus as an energy is breaking free from anything that isn't authentic, because the sun wants authenticity. The sun is the illumination of your soul. So if you start to see the picture here, but not only that, we also have here in Aries, which has been an amazing point of great insights, where we can see that we truly are at a point of new beginning. This is through tropical astrology. If you want to talk to me about sidereal or through sidereal astrology, I have ideas and I have a sense of why we are using tropical, and sidereal is the future, is what we're looking at. But for now, because we're still working with the density and we are breaking down those, those constructs, it's still very much in focus. So going back to the Aries 0 degrees, we have Saturn about to enter Aries. And Saturn enters Aries May 24. So, we're already in the energy. Neptune has already entered Aries, is here at 1 degrees. So they will connect at about, I think, 10, 11 minutes apart next month. So they're almost in conjunction. But right now, they're 1 degree apart, so they're still very powerful as a conjunction. So what is Saturn and what is Neptune? Neptune is the dreaming. Neptune is the divine dream, sitting here at 1 degree Aries, the new beginning. Aries is creating something new. Neptune is saying, remember who you are. Remember the divine dream, the sacred geometry of your being that wants to create from that point. Don't go back to create from those patterns that were created by societies that believed in fear and the savior of, I'm not going to go into that, but contracts with realities that, to be honest, weren't real, because now they have proven to warble in time space. What is set to the true geometry of the soul, in conjunction, in collaboration with the true geometry of the universe, as a wisdom, as an electrical current, it withstands time and it keeps growing. And what is created from, what would be, let's say that is created from a pattern that is not for growth, it's maybe for constriction, it will not withstand time. And so a pattern that is created, even a country or a political mindset, it will be created and it will be vibrated by the people only to a time. Eventually it will warble in space and it will dissolve and something new will come. If you look at history, if you look at ancient history even, you will see that there is a time and then it warbles and it's complete and it's gone. So here's what is occurring. Saturn is systems. Saturn is coming into conjunction. This happens February 21st, 2026. So we have this time to understand the dreaming and to understand the patterning that we are creating, because this truly is a new code, a new creation, and it's not outside of you. This is why the dreaming is so important. Is part of you. You have a part to play in this dance, which is, it is dance in the sky by planetary systems, but is influencing the natural world, and it's influencing our ability to connect to the world around us. and therefore create with the world around us. So I think I'm going to leave the astrology to that. In case you want to know, Uranus enters Gemini. Uranus will move 3 degrees and get into Gemini July 7th. And that is a 7-year cycle that begins. So when Uranus enters Gemini, and already we can feel it, is going to be fast acceleration in communication. So expect to have to learn some other coding, some other way of communication. And because I am in the business of understanding information and consciousness, I feel that whatever is occurring in the technical world, in the, you know, in the I don't know, in the systems that will be created, maybe, you know, technologies that you can buy or use, or apps on your phone. Remember that you are the technology, and when Uranus enters Gemini, it is ruled by Mercury, which is communication, the messenger, and it is all about our ability to be fully sentient and fully aware that we can communicate, and it's very, very possible communication with other worlds and other realities. So not only the reality that you are creating, co-creating, collaborating, but it's the multidimensionality of your being becoming more into focus, to the point I want to say that the old worlds will not be in your reality if you're ready for it. The old worlds, and even old and old maybe is not the correct word, but completed stories will not play out. It will be a bit like, I often use this analogy of um, having to travel somewhere, and you look for a flight to get there to your destination, and you work really hard on making sure that is working out for you, and you have the ticket, and you have a boarding pass, and all of that is really important for you to get where you're going. But the moment you got there and you had that experience, that flight and that boarding pass is not in your reality anymore. It's way used up, way completed. So this is how I see that the old world and the old realities took us to this point. Whatever it is that we chose took us to this very point, and where we go from here is something new. And the old realities will probably just fragment, or I don't know what the word will be, but this is what I'm saying. It's not that one day you will arrive in a city and the city is gone, but is those mind constructs will be gone. So it's a very exciting time to be fully aware, fully awake, and fully in creation, and in collaboration, knowing that you have a part, and knowing a part is just as exciting. It's just as, at least for me, and I feel for all of you, feels like a gift to know where you want to focus your dreaming, your desires, and how you want to, color that into being. Okay, I'm gonna stop the part on the astrology and come back to you. Sorry, I spoke at you for half an hour, but I felt that this was really important to just remind. It's not that you, each and everyone, are having similar messages and similar insights and experiences, but I feel that now is the beauty that once we know, we can't unknow, and then we can create from it. And if we are willing, eventually in time, if it's it's in the geometry of your being, to focus together to create. And I'm not saying together with this group, but wherever you are in the community that you choose, in the neighborhood, or in the partner that you're with, and you begin to focus together. Because dreaming as a collective, the old world has known that to focus on something in the collective was powerful, because this is why they created fear. This is why fear is such a thing that, it's very alive in the news, because the collective mind focusing on one thing is an immense force. But first, understand how to be in that force state, force field, or as I call it, the dreaming, to be fully alive in that potential. And then in time, and very soon, I feel Uranus will be in Gemini until 2032. Certainly by 2032, we won't know what hit us in terms of evolution. Uh, and we are right there, creating it. So yeah, I will leave you to your imagination of what is possible with your own dreaming and with your own consciousness. So I will open for questions and for share in a minute, but before that, I wish for us to go into a few minutes of focus. So inwards, we're gonna do a bit of shutting our eyes and allowing all those words that are being said and information that got floated around our field to just settle. And let all that noise, all those words, all of those thoughts become little sparks, particles of light, just floating like dust in the sunlight. And now allow your consciousness to go into your own being, your own knowing, your own dreaming state, or whatever you may call it. And have a look. See what you see. See if you can visualize it for yourself. What would it look like if you could see, take a peek into your full creation, full dreaming state, the sacred geometry of your unique being? And be with it. Be with it for a few minutes. Thank you all. I will ask you to slowly come back. Take notice of what you saw and how it felt. And stay curious to expand your knowing. And if you need any support, you can talk to me at some point. So take a minute to take notes if you've seen or received any information. And if you felt not very much or didn't see very much, that's okay. It's just eventually we arrive at a point of empty, and it's a bit scary because that's when you are in the full creation space. Scary good. I can't see all of you, so I'm going to go by what and who I'm looking at, and it feels like we can continue. Ariane is sending us a message. Okay, I read your message, Marianne. Thank you. It's a process. It's a process. If you are in the depths of the process of decomposing those structures, I commend you. Nobody is immune to that. We all go through that, and it isn't something that we wish to go through. And I am the first to say that I want to run away from it screaming. But we all know that we've gone through so many things in our lives, and it always works out. And there is support. There is support from your galactic intelligence, your family and the stars. There is support with nature, and certainly you have my support. So do reach out. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, so for the ones that are still here, I want to open for questions. So yeah, it's not too many of us now, so do just chime in.
Aloha, everybody. Aloha, Nook. So good to see you. gosh, this makes me want to laugh, cry, and vomit at the same time because it is, oh my God, I have no words. This is precisely. Um, and what I'm experiencing is that simulacrum, I want to call it, over and over and over and over. And it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. So we need to talk separately. But what I want to ask you about, because you did put out your what is your deepest wish? And I really tried to take that in. Of course, here I am on my Pluto line, so I'm constantly against the yeah. So I haven't been able to. I feel preoccupied with the simulacrum. So that deepest wish thing, can you just say a little more about that for today? And if you've dressed that more over time as you are teaching people about this.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you. And I commend you for staying on the Pluto line. For me,
She
it
she
was
will not
on my knees.
she will not let me go. I literally had 3 flights in April. And this island, Big Island, Hawaii, will not let me go. I'm not permitted to leave until I do this because she wants me, as me, as God, right, wants me to have this completion. And it's torture because I cannot get past these simulacrums. They are like in front of my face and hypnotizing me as if they're real. So we really need to have a check-in and maybe you can direct me to like how to do this. I feel so stymied in how to believe, I guess, in my deepest wish at this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just for the purpose of some people that don't understand simulacrum.
To me, I want to call it that because it's the it's the nightmare. Simulacrum is like I think in dark magic, it's like it's it's I don't really even know, but that's the word that comes to me because to me it means like almost like the golem that they would make from clay and with a bad intention in dark magic of like this this is all the dark shadow of you. This is all the dark shadow and it looks like you and it walks like you and talks like you, but it isn't you. So it's like it's me, it's me in different times that I needed those limitations. But simulacrum to me is like that, but it's the worst kind of aspect of me. It's just constantly in front of me. So
Okay.
that's what that means to me. It's like something so devilish and dark.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you. Thank you for explaining and explaining your point of view. So, because of what you said, first of all, to access your deepest desire, you have to come to the truth of your being because we will always, first of all, go into what we think we desire. And, we've done that. And then eventually, when we get what we thought we desire, we realize, oh, that wasn't really it. So to get to the truth of your deepest soul fire, you need to get to the truth of your being first, right? Otherwise, we'll create same old, so that we get to the true dreaming. And again, I call it the true dreaming. You can call it something else, the center point or the creation point, whatever you want to call it. So to access, I will share my own experience because maybe that becomes a little bit more practical. So one of the things that I was stuck constantly, I mean, there are many things that make me stuck, but one of the constant things that would make me feel I couldn't get to the dreaming is safety. For me personally, it was about feeling unsafe and how to create safety and strive and work hard and push more and write more and whatever it is that I could think to literally it felt like I was pushing a big boulder up the hill. And just as I was getting to the hill, this boulder would just roll back and crush me. And then there I was, I can do it, the Aries in me and just keep pushing this boulder up the hill. And, years of it to understand that all I needed to do was to find my deepest desire, because the deepest desire was like neatly packed into this thing that for me was I wasn't safe. And yes, you can say everybody feels unsafe, that, what is happening in the world doesn't feel safe, or, you know, being human on planet Earth when you come from the stars doesn't feel safe. All of those things. But when we are here to create reality and to walk, or if walk a talk, then my personal struggle of not feeling safe was like the wrappers. I couldn't see beyond that. So for me, what I did, I had to be really truthful with myself and tell myself, how much did I want to feel safe? How important was it to feel safe? And then I got, so as an inquiry is a bit of a practice where you are so honest with yourself. That was how it was for me. For you, it may be something else, but it truly is a time for you to be first and foremost truthful with yourself. And so for me, it was like I understood that all of my life I created safety for myself. I struggled to do it, but always and ultimately I was always safe. And so I understood that feeling unsafe had to do with trauma or what had occurred. And so I was able to honor that point of what had occurred and tell my being that I have always created safety, but I had to own it. I somehow didn't want to see it. I mean, this is my home. I have always created beauty and safety around me. I have always been able to live in environments that are supportive of me, never in a city, never, with loud noise, apart from Sicily. So ultimately, everything that wasn't working was pushing me to understand that no matter what, I could turn it all around and create safety. So again, this was my thing. Make it yours, whatever it is for you. But I hope that this is making sense. I had to honor the part of me that felt I would never be safe, and the part of me that felt I'm unsafe, and tell myself, how you're going to move from this. This was like, the 90-degree angle. I was constant in the struggle of, yes, the boulder falling on my head all over again, until I went past that and understood that it wasn't safety what I was looking for. I had that already. I had already created that over and over, over and over, over and over. Every time the boulder came crashing me down, I created safety. So I was the master of safety. I didn't need safety. What I needed was something else that was behind that. And so for me was finding my people, finding the people that I am supposed to collaborate with, to co-create with, to the point of literally being a little rock that creates the bridge to new earth. But I can't be the only rock. All of us need to do that, whatever that's called, that clicks together. So that became for me the focus of my dreaming. But I had to get to it to understand that it wasn't safety I wanted. I wanted to find the people I was meant to create this geometry, this larger geometry. So if you like, I was wasting time, but I was training myself to get to this point. And yeah, there is more. There's a lot more to it. I'm simplifying it. So this is why I'm telling you it's a process, but it doesn't take forever. It's instant. The moment you get it, it's instant. And slowly, the only thing I had to repeat myself over the months when I understood it was, this was your old reality. This was how you used to think in the old world. Now you're in the new world. Every time that thought came back, I just had to tell myself, and I don't have to do that anymore. I have really, truly seen a new reality, and my mind doesn't go back to that loop. So that is the only thing that takes a little bit. But I want to say maybe whatever, I mean, for you it might take a week, and maybe for me it took 2 months to just telling myself, that was how you behaved in the old world, or that's how, yeah, that would be your thinking, but it's not your thinking anymore. You've evolved from that. And it worked for me, and I hope it works for you. But we can create, if you work with me, we can create a different way that makes it real for you. So that is the one thing I can offer you, is that you need to be truthful with yourself. And therefore, the moment that illusion is taken away from even your own belief that what you really, really desire is, because once you get that, you realize that wasn't it. I already have that. I just told myself I didn't have it. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. I do. Very much. Very much. Are you saying that there's like one quintessential thing? Like we might think we have a lot of blocks or it shows itself in different ways, but there's like, is there more than one thing that's blocking us? Like, can there be more than one thing? Or is it kind of come down to like, oh, that's what was behind
It's
this
so
thing?
simple. It's so simple. It's crazy. That's really how it is. It's so simple, it's crazy. And I think maybe we fell under a spell, over the way that humanity has played out this phase. But the moment it's literally you dispel it, it just flicks out of your field. And it's that simple if you allow yourself to see what the true dreaming is. And the true dreaming is always, and I want to say that again, always service. Because you arrive at that point of nothing and actually arrive at a point of no desire, which is bizarre because it's your deepest yearning, is your deepest longing. And you arrive at a point of zero and you think, oh, this is it. This is it. I am here because I'm here to find my people. And why am I wanting to find my people? You can go further. Why is it so important? Why is my deepest desire to find the people that I create new earth? And I'm going to say it the way it is. I want to create new earth. I want to be part. I wish my deepest desire is to express my soul, to support as many as I can so that we can create this last bridge to new earth. And, it will just expand in the universe the way it needs to be. Um, it's not my making how it creates itself. It's just how we get there, which I feel is it's my part. So ultimately, the deepest wish releases you from the constructs. Can I say that? Yes, it really feels that it releases you from the illusion and therefore brings you to the truth of your being. And once you're in the truth of your being, there is only one way to go, which is, I got it. I want to share this. I want to, go do this one thing or go meet those people or write that book or whatever it is. And everything else in your reality, because of it, it's not so heavy or it's not so, yeah, it doesn't pull you down anymore. How the analogy I gave you of I'm pushing this great big boulder up the mountain and I get almost there and then I have to start again. So that heaviness dissipates because you're not holding on to that thing that we were holding for, is different for each and every one of us. But life experiences trained us. So even if they were harsh experiences or traumatic experience or unimaginable horrors occurred, and you lived through it, they were there to take you to this point. So in the end, like even the ogres and the most horrendous people in our lives were there for love. We're there to take you to your power, to your deepest dream, to your deepest desire, and yeah, also to the yearning of your soul. I'm here to tell you that it's easy once you allow yourself to be truthful, or it can be as long as it takes. I mean, I am 60 years old, so I didn't do it easily. I did it, the hard way. So it's possible, but it's not only my doing. I feel it's also because the frequencies, because we are having, as I showed you astrologically, we're having so much more impulse, literally particles of light that are allowing us and the ionization of our body to become more light, more electrical, that the information is traveling through us. So the density, whether we like it or not, is completing. And I know, yes, I want to tell you about the completion of stories. This is happening naturally because of the axis, because we are truly at a new beginning. So everything that is coming up, I feel like, yes, is a bit like a paddle, like a really big paddle that, a car comes through and a paddle just come all crashing on you. It's just because it's all coming up and it's completing. So it will just be a paddle and it will not last very long. So if you're feeling past lives and this harmony with people that you can see it's from a past life, and even completion of relationships, it's happening fast. And I feel by the end of this year, if not before, in the next few weeks and months, we are going to be breathing a very different air in terms of seeing reality. I hope this helps.
Just
Okay.
just a just
Sylvia.
a just a little further on that, it feels like some of these patterns they are eons old. They're not just from this life. So is that supported too by this whole, I mean, this is literally we're clearing stuff from
Yes.
ancient times of our the time we started accumulating that stuff. I mean, they've been
For
with us for a
sure.
long, long time. So that's, I think, part of what it seems so weird about it. It's so not real anymore, but it's like been there so long that, yeah, that feels like what I get up
Sometimes,
against.
totally. And thank you for bringing that up. Sometimes you were the soul that came to complete, you were the final key to complete that final story. And this is why you feel it so strongly. Because generationally, everybody did their part, but they couldn't complete. And now you come with your frequency sequence and your perfect coding that can just finish up that puzzle, neatly package it, and then, it goes back into the libraries or whatever it is that it goes. So, but I know it's not easy. So, my sense is that don't. I, I mean, I don't want to say don't take it personally because it's not even personal, and you know it. But try and breathe through it because it will pass. It will pass. And thank you for doing that. Just keep bringing yourself back. I am in evolution, and this is my focus, and try the most that you can to connect to that expanding focus, because whatever it is that feels constricting or disharmonious has no, as I said, it warbles and it cracks. So yeah, focus on what it is your true desire, and just keep going. Every time you go, oh yeah, this is it, and then ask yourself, oh, but why is this it? What will I do with this? And then it takes you deeper and deeper and deeper. But anyway, we can talk. Thank you. Anyone else? Siri, I know you wanted to share a dream.
If there's time, I could just talk about the focus too. I don't know how much time we have left.
We have 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So I
Well,
just don't know how many more people want to speak.
did anybody else have questions before I would share my dream? Okay. I didn't even yeah. Anyway, sometimes I have intention for dreaming and nothing happens. And this was one of those times I didn't have intention for dreaming, but it was huge. And I thought, oh, how timely. And so I'll just read to you what I've written about it because it was fascinating, just kind of full spectrum. Okay. Um, it says, last night I had a strange and powerful dream. I was on the oars of our raft on a familiar river. So we do river rafting. Two of my friends were in the boat with me, and they're from different times in my life. One is a current friend and one is an older friend. We were floating along easily and enjoying the flow and being in the river. We stopped for lunch and enjoyed being on the shore. The next thing I knew, I'm approaching a familiar drop, which is like a rapid kind of thing in the river. Um, Except instead of this gradual drop, it's a huge waterfall straight down to certain death. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to kill myself and my two dear friends. At this point, I realized that I left my friends on the shore and I'm in the boat alone. I can't believe I would forget or abandon my friends. I'm shocked and relieved that they are not in the boat, but now I'm about to go over the edge to my death. I'm on the precipice in that pause or backflow that can come before a drop or a rapid in the river. The view is a long fall, and I make peace with my creator. I take a deep breath and I go over the edge. To my amazement, I do not fall. I float on the air as if my boat is now a magic carpet. The ride along above the river is breathtaking. As I fly, an unknown peace and calm come over me, and there is a sense of safety that has never been a part of my experience. I float gently down and playfully skim the boat along the river, touching down and lifting off. It's a blast until I land. Once I stop playing, the reality of the fact that I left my friends along the shore sets in. How could I have left them? What kind of friend abandons, what kind of a friend am I that I would abandon my friends? What am I to do to go retrieve them? I sink into guilt and shame. The next thing I know, I'm at home, except it isn't our current home, looking for Arthur, who is my husband, to help me figure out how to retrieve my friends. The place is chaotic. We are clearly moving out of the house, and there's boxes and our stuff laying everywhere. There are random people there supposedly helping, but Arthur is nowhere to be found. For some reason, I decide I need coats for the rescue, and I start grabbing coats. But I realize I don't recognize the coats, and I wonder who they belong to. The place is completely disrupted. People I don't know doing things without direction, and no one seems to know or even know who Arthur is. The last thing I remember is standing in this house, holding jackets, and someone I don't know asking me why I'm taking their jacket. I suddenly don't know why. I hand over the jacket in total confusion and start to cry. It's like, wow. What the heck was that?
So many things in there to unravel. Amazing dream, especially because your reality is you are really moving and you are really packing. And
Yeah.
why did you feel responsible for those people? Seemingly they were safe on the shore somewhere. You were the one,
Right.
that
They were
potentially would
safe.
have been careering to your death, as you said, but you found a new life, right? All of a sudden, you were floating on a magic
Well,
carpet.
and that is, in my experience, really, the shift that's occurring, um, and it's amazing. But I guess, relating to what you were talking about, it's that tether to the old, to what has been and what is loyalty and what is uh, what is safety, like you were talking about, what is, you know um just all the what are our beliefs, really challenging our beliefs. And clearly I had a belief that, I needed my husband to help me figure this out and save my friends and, whatever. And so it was just fascinating.
I
It's
love
like,
it. I love it. This is it. This is how you get to more understanding because this is the soul, this the unraveling of the symbols and images is how the soul communicates. I mean, you communicating with yourself.
right. It's so
Amazing.
interesting. And the flying, I haven't had a lot of flying dreams in my life, a handful, and they've always just been so, oh my God,
And so
yeah,
if you were going to go back to remembering how it felt,
right.
as
Like
you thought.
that peace and that calm and that just like, oh yeah, I can fly, you know?
So when you get to that, so it's a bit like, oh, here's the key. You created a key for yourself from the point of, oh no, and
Dropping over the
limitation
edge.
and victimhood and whatever it might be, to oh, I'm floating and I'm free and how exciting and it's exhilarating. And what will you do with this now, with this frequency that this is literally a key. So keep being curious what that feels and where else can you go with this magic carpet? What can you see from it?
And so the surprise of it,
I
I
love
thought I
it.
was done. I'm crashing and burning into this, waterfall that's, 50 feet high.
Amazing. Thank you so
Oh,
much for that.
thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else?
Hello.
Hello,
Oh, you
Christina.
can. Okay. That was a great dream, Siri. Wow. I don't know. To me, it speaks to the anticipation that we feel as humanity. We know you can always feel the rapids are coming, you know, that rumbling. It's like when you drive up on Niagara Falls. And but then to know that I don't know, to me it's an ascension dream. Um not to interpret your dream, but I can feel the feelings. And it's the same sequence, where you jump and the net appears kind of thing. And then the disorganization on the other side. I hope we're all handed a manual because there's going to be a lot of figuring out. Don't take my jacket, man. So anyway, thanks for sharing that. I love to hear those because it's really what's going on for us subconsciously and what we do, what we already know, and then how the interpretation. It was really cool. Thanks. Oh,
Thank you for your remarks. And Leslie, I just wanted to say, I put my email in the chat. I would love to connect with you.
Me too. I was thinking the same thing. That's awesome. Thank you so much. What a wonderful opportunity for us to connect. Thank you. Awesome.
I have this
Josephine,
total Hawaii thing, total Hawaii calling. And
Well,
I think this is interesting, you know, and you're like, I can't get out of here.
well, you know, my Pluto lines here, it's going to be probably different for you, but it's a definitely activating place. You can't hide here. You cannot hide. And it's quick. It can be quick. It's
That's
like fire.
been my experience. Yeah. I've had the good fortune to come to Hawaii several times and had amazing experience. But soon, I hope.
Yeah. When she calls, when Madam calls, it's kind of irresistible.
Pele and the Passion is fairly compelling. Have you gone to see the volcano?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's going off every other day right now.
I've, I've been
It's
watching that. How
oh,
cool.
they have a new camera, by the way. I'll send it to you. They have 3 cameras now. They just put in a new camera, which is just it's
I
amazing.
know the excitement of watching a volcano go off is just, it's so powerful and so compelling and wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
it's
can I
really
just interject there? Because so we are talking about our own dreaming, and eventually, we are going to understand that we can dream collectively. But the planetary body that is the Earth is also arriving at its own, new dream. And Hawaii is one of the points, one of the convergent points, and it's on the Zeb Tepi, the meridian known as Zeb Tepi in ancient times, which is before time, or to me it means before time, which is a time before when the contracts had been made that created the reality that we're in. So it's like a reset. My sense is that a lot of seismic, but mostly volcanic activity in the oceans will bring new frequencies up for us, and hopefully there will be many and set apart so that it's not going to be catastrophic in any way. But certainly Hawaii is one of the coordinates, or one of the arcs, as I call it. So yeah, thank you for being there. There's so much more than what we spoke about you were doing there, Leslie. Thank you.
I just
Josephine, I wanted to ask if you wanted to share anything, because I know you've been deep in the dreaming, but don't feel pressure if you don't want to talk.
I don't know, do you want to hear the dream for today or in general?
Yeah, how is it for you? How is it for you if you had to, offer something for the others,
I'd
if you
say
want to.
it's certainly worth doing the process. And like that, once you feel the resistance, figure out what that is, then you're away with it. I was very aware what the resistance was. I could name it. But I just had to wait for that moment for the switch. I was able to switch it off. A simple way of describing it. And then you just take flight. And I suppose it's that what Anouk said, be careful of what you say, what you think. because the reality comes in very quickly into your life. And then it's just a case of reaching for higher potentials for yourself. And then it's less of a burden. You think, oh gosh, I can relate to that. Why am I working so hard? You know, why am I doing more than everybody else? But there is maybe I can only relate this to myself. There's an element of work involved if you're trying to reach a goal. Obviously, you have to do certain things, but the understanding, if you put that work or it's not even work, if you put the passion into it, obviously you're going to create what the goal is. It's not even an end goal, because when you get there and you realize that, or you manifest it, for the want of a better word, well, then you can say, oh, I think I'd like to experience something else. But through that process, it's never about collecting things, material items, like I think I'll get a Mercedes car, and it's not about that. It's, as you said, it's what service can you bring to the world, in your own given field, whatever that is, and that's a choice. So, you know, I have done a lot of work with Anouk over the last few months, and I found it powerful. And there's kind of no stopping me now once I figured that out. And I mean, obviously there's going to be roadblocks in some ways. You just go around them, figure out how am I going to navigate or negotiate this? And in some ways, why did you create the roadblock in the first place? What was that about? So anyway, I hope that inspires people to do some of the work. And it's great fun, you know, very illuminating.
Thank you. Thank you, Josephine. And also, as you were saying about the roadblocks, I can't think of an example, but I have got to points where I said to myself the same thing. Oh, this is a block, but I'm going to choose a different reality. I'm going to choose to believe that there is another way and an easier reality. And then very quickly I find a solution. I don't say in that many words to myself, but something along the lines that even if you see a struggle, you say, yeah, but that's not my reality. I see something better, or I believe that I can turn this reality around, or you know, the better part of me, or the truth part in me can create a better reality. And I don't have I don't know, if you've been with me, you know, because I usually tell people what the magic in my life has been on that week. I can't think of one right now, but if I remember anything, I'll tell you.
I suppose, and just on that, you know, the work we did there in the field today, I saw myself literally in a field, looking at a tree and painting a tree, but that's everybody's reality. Let's say everybody can see the tree, but I was drawing the tree. But as I drew the tree itself was drawing the geometry, like on a screen in front of the tree for me, showing, say, hexagons, how the cell structure was built up. So that's kind of seeing beyond the veil to me, seeing through that, what's just there in front of you, that, you know, there is something much more magical behind it, and especially for the geometry, to see those shapes.
Amazing.
And once I recognized them, I said, oh, look at all those shapes in the cloud, Fibonacci sequence, you know, looking through the castle, saw something different. So yeah, that was fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A few more minutes. Anyone else wants to share anything? We're getting to 1.5 hours, so
I have a question if anybody else that didn't get to share. What, does anybody have anything? I don't want to. I just want to ask about water. This thing about water and manifestation is just like all around. But like, and the geometries made me think of it like, can you just put the proper structure into water with your hands? Like just call it in. Like I've been doing aqua ray color, like because the sea is perfectly structured. And then just asking for the ideal structure for water with I'm just calling in the geometry that what Josephine was sharing made me think of that. And then and asking it to be my medicine, I don't know. There's so many things you can do with water, right? But I just wondered about that because water, you mentioned it earlier, and it just seems to be coming up as an ally, really, and creation.
Yeah, thank you for bringing water. Absolutely. So we know water as, liquid or frozen or any other ways that vapor, but beyond that is a consciousness. So this is why now so much more, the work that Veda Austin is doing, and before that was Masura Moto, and many of us have been connecting to water in one way or another, working with water, carrying water, merging waters, in different continents. So water is in service like all of the elements because it's a power, but it's also part of us, right? And this is the understanding that water says, yes, whatever you say, I will record. But also take it further. Water is also, as a consciousness, a carrier of intelligence, a carrier of information. When you think about the trees, and we know now science, biology has told us that the tree roots connect to the entire forest through the mycelium, but the energy and how the electricity is carried around, the ionization of it all, is through the water. So the water is carrying all of that information. The mycelium is the vessel, the living organism. But if there was no water, there wouldn't be mycelium. So it made me understand that it's a communication system. And so now when you think that we are water, I mean, not that we didn't know this, but start thinking further into it. Yes, absolutely. You can do this. What did you call it? The race, the activation.
Aqua. I just use aqua because the seawater is
Yeah.
perfectly structured,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. So that you can drink it and activate your cells. But then again, go further, because the cells in your body are geometry, and the cells in your body create plasma, and that is electricity, and that's information. So eventually, and water is one of the most giving elements. But if we could, we would see that fire also does the same, and earth does the same, and even air. But of course, it's difficult to, take a picture of the particles in air or even in fire necessarily. So this is why water has been, in service in this evolutionary phase. It was always there, but now if we can see water as consciousness and a medium is not the word, I don't have the word for it, that helps us now think about everything is in us, is a lot of it in us is water, right? And a lot of this planet is living through water, or it grows with water and the sun. So the currents of energy which are communicating, remember, communication is information being carried, and information is informing the particles, constantly informing the particles. So water not only registers, holds memory, registers what we desire. So yeah, if I desire this glass of water to quench my thirst and to help me ionize my body, then I can ask it. But the same water can assist me in now communicate with Sirius or galactic center, or the center of the earth, or the volcano. So we just need to remember, right? That's my sense. It's so simple.
Connects everything, everywhere. I mean, it's
Connect
literally
everything.
the connector of everything, the carrier of everything. So yeah, it's just sort of, what do you ask for and when you're praying over water? Because it's like, what's a big enough statement? So anyway, it's so exciting that, you know,
Yeah, thank
you have
you.
such an ally. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you so much, Aduk. This is
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Yeah,
This
thank you. Likewise. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, all of you, honoring you for being on planet Earth as a human at this time. Thank you for your power. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your leadership. That is so needy. Speak your truth, walk your truth, even if it hurts, even if it hurts others, because ultimately we're all evolving. So when I say, even if it hurts other, truthfully, truth doesn't hurt. It just helps, unpack those constructions, constrictions, and yeah, we are on an evolutionary path, and yeah, there is no stopping us. So thank you for being here, and thank you for doing, and yeah, all that you are. Thank you. Much gratitude for you. Till next time,
Everybody.
everyone.
Thank you.
Much love.
Thanks, Anouk.
Bye.